that. Even do that. Just put a double line there.
And I was getting ready to pull the other side off and redo
Until
it.
they get the 4 lanes.
And they're like,
And
So you
they
know,
make
when they
that.
people stuff.
I know, I gotta come past me on the bridge.
That is so stupid.
Yeah, except for the barrier.
I had one pass me on the, I was at Pittsburgh, he passed me.
the shop on
Mimi,
your pickup,
coming out.
on the pickup.
But
Been riding
shoulder,
for
keep from getting hit
a year and a half.
and had to push
I
back.
called up there the other day, and I literally grabbed the shop and I can twist it about an inch both ways, and the bushings, that was gone.
People are just.
So I finally got shocks. Well, they're zip tied together, so whenever you cut the zip tie, it's supposed to expand, and then you put the bolt in it as it goes through. Yeah, that's a SOB to do by yourself while you're underneath the truck. So then I'm trying to get a jack stand underneath the pickup, get the jack back underneath the shock, and press the shock back up to get it in.
Yeah, I don't typically do shock. Try to avoid it anyway.
Well, I'm a board boy, so I do a lot of my own mechanics.
I do a lot.
He works on his lawnmower, and he works on his spring mower, his UTV. You have to tractor sometimes.
Yeah, I've had to take care of a few things on the train.
Not too bad. They feed you before you get down here?
Say what?
Did they feed you before you came down here? Your whole plan's up at Christie's.
I ain't up there. I ain't been up there. I just walked in the house, set my stuff down.
Yeah, literally everybody's up there. Everybody. Everybody.
Okay? Beats me. Don't tell me the things.
I tell you either.
Lindy, the ID for James.
Yeah, sorry. It's been crazy.
Still hot.
Clean up a little sleeves
I was
up.
gonna say, go to the bathroom, wash your, put cold water on your hair.
Past few days, it's been a nightmare.
Why don't you get stuck?
One minute got something coming, they can't even get nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Matt emergency manager.
Yeah, that was weird yesterday. That just kind of blew right in.
Well, except that, let's see.
Kevin.
I chased it, tried to chase it all through, fast as I could.
Well, so Kevin called you way before it hit
Well,
us,
he sent me a text, no, like 5 minutes before it
and
hit.
then your Aunt Billy called when it was hitting.
Well, yeah, but she didn't know that it was.
No, but then Uncle Junior called, and I couldn't talk to him because he was calling to tell us about him.
Yeah.
Uncle Junior's 95. Doesn't care. But by the time I called him, it was gone.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
Yeah, it hit down there, I'm gonna see it, just as I get ready to get my pickup. I sat there waiting for this, I got my pickup.
Yeah, that's probably wise.
But that one blew in out of the south.
You know, I just rolled it down this way. Stayed behind it, so I didn't really
I don't think they ran bigger than my son.
I didn't
Oh,
see
man.
it bigger than
Leona?
one quarter, so.
Fish was a quarter.
We had some quarter, we had some quarter size.
Bigger than your son.
Yeah, doing good.
That was the biggest
Good, I
size.
think.
Quarter,
Good.
Most of it was.
You know, it was a quarter small.
Thank you. How are you?
The biggest one, passed down, so it's like.
Leona,
Quarter.
what I know, are you always eating?
Yeah, I was glad to see
Well,
it.
this is pretty.
So where'd it go, to the holiday or something? Yeah, I think,
That's
they've already got, pardon?
right by it, that's the one.
Awareness light, just so you don't miss me coming in the door.
Appreciate the info.
Dusty's double fisted tonight.
I don't think it's very
Can you
good.
remember
We just never got some
Ah.
water at 9 o'clock in the morning. And our lawyers, I checked for me, but I checked the lawyer. And all we have to do is set it back on the property.
Well,
We can do that.
Well, if people coming to cut it up, should have the stuff to put it back on. It's big. How big is is it a pond?
No, it's not.
I had no idea how
Probably
to.
one of those elms or something.
It's, I don't think it's an elm tree. I don't know exactly what it is.
You're talking about the one on Iowa? I don't know, Tim, did you see?
It's pecan.
Is it pecan?
Yeah, I thought
It
it
is.
Some things are weak anyway.
Yeah, they are.
Are we ready?
It'll be one of those days, isn't it? Okay.
Who she has.
I know.
All right. Let's call the Board of Trustees special session to order at 11:00. Do we need to say it, please? As soon as you get them off.
Yeah. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Trustee Mormon,
Here.
Trustee Gale,
Yeah.
Mayor Long.
Here. Welcome guests. They got 3 minutes. Just, you got something you shall say about what's on the agenda, they've got 3 minutes to do so. You don't want to say anything? Motion to one.
Make a motion, move on.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda. You know what the consent agenda is? Just right here. No, it's not.
Well, it's A, B, well,
AUF.
item number 5, you turn the page. And things that are reoccurring that happen every month,
Hold on a second.
it's the wrong section, please, go to the front.
Right here.
There you go.
There, right there.
So these are things that are reoccurring every month, or things that she's provided us detail, like minutes and things to review. And so we just approve all of this. We approve the minutes and the blankets. And again, every year we've set aside funds for the audit. We've got to move the money, the insurance move the money out of the museum account into the general fund when we paid for the roof. And we're moving, that museum account is empty, and we have to set up a new bank account to track the ACOG money coming in for the 2025 for the tractor. So when it comes in, we'll put it in here, and then we'll transfer that. That way we segregate the monies and can account for the money. So we'll take the empty museum account and change it to the general fund ACOG account to accept the monies. So if you're good with all of that, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, business agenda. Discussion, consideration, possible action on May 2025 special meeting. Discussion, possible action on speed bumps. Well, I don't care that now, speed bumps not gonna happen. I'm gonna tear my vehicle up.
Okay, but, let's just hang on a minute. Let's do A through D. And, I'd like to table those, because I don't think we've had any activity with all of the activities,
A through D.
A through D. And I was wondering if we wanted to think about forming a because we're not functioning very well on this. Citizens committee perhaps, to look into some more items or,
We have got no way to enforce this, period.
well,
No matter what we do, we cannot enforce it.
you're talking stop signs.
I mean, we were supposed to speed bumps in there on.
Well, I
So I
apologize.
would.
Well, I apologize because it was my job to get the Langston chief to come and give us some ideas of what it would cost. That's the Langston University chief,
Right.
to do some patrolling in town. I got hung up with, I didn't get it done.
I'll still offer that if we can get him to come and do it.
Well, I called him yesterday and I left a message today and he was in training. I called his office, he was training today. So I would like to leave that.
What's your opinion?
I think having Langston come over and give us a rundown on what it would cost.
The university, not the city.
University, not,
Right.
Yeah.
Have them come over and see what they propose.
but in the meantime, we need to table this.
Yeah, unless you guys want to form a citizens committee, but I don't know that they could do any more than get him here. Okay.
So,
That's hard.
it was kind of my idea on,
Well, you need to.
on working, oh, I'm sorry. Anyways, it was kind of my idea as far as possibly forming a working group where y'all would nominate a few people to look at all the stop signs and make recommendations to you guys that might, because somebody's got to get, people with differing views have got to be able to get together and talk about which stop signs are where and things like that. And if you get a group of people together, they can do that and they can sit down outside of me. That's where that was coming from, because
Like I said, unless you get somebody in here that can do something, you're just replacing your time.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, while Mom is working on
I
getting
think we got too much more time to spend doing other stuff to have to worry about this right now.
Well, I will, like I said, unfortunately tomorrow I gotta go to Tulsa, but I will go back to the office as I did before, when I got my best response. Everybody's just understaffed.
Yeah, that's for sure. But, I'm off the table. If there's, you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to table A through B. I don't want to totally go away.
Yeah.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Discussion possible action to purchase a computer for maintenance personnel. Steve?
Does okay. BJ's not here.
Right, so this was just tabled from last month, and I don't think it's been.
I know nothing's been done,
Yeah.
but I understand. Jason, I was gonna ask
Saw
Jason.
that on the agenda, so I went on today to look at a couple of things. Like you can get a refurb Dell off the Flex, real similar to what Lindy's got right there for about $279 right
Does he
now.
want does he have something to carry around in the truck when he's,
He's got the iPad that
He's
he
got the
used in
iPad.
the truck, yeah.
so the
He was
per,
talking about a desktop, but.
was he talking about it?
Yeah, to do reports and stuff in
Yeah,
here.
it doesn't.
Okay, so go ahead, son. We're on the right track.
So anyway, like you can get a refurb Dell tower that would fit those needs for anywhere between $200 and $300. Keeping in mind that wouldn't necessarily come with a monitor. You could get an all-in-one computer like they were talking
And
about.
that's okay too. I didn't know those things existed.
Let me see.
Okay, question on that.
Well, what's a price range that we could approve, give or take 10%, and let him get on with it?
Well,
$300 would get you there, I apologize if I may.
Okay.
$300 would get you there with no problem with any number of different setups you can get, including monitors and keyboards.
that's right on the low edge of what I'm looking at. Just depends, I haven't looked at the all-in-ones that much. Here's one for $329.
Well, let's say $500 for,
Not need anything special.
no.
Just desktop.
Well, he's gonna need software, and then I don't know if this,
No, it shouldn't need a lot of software. I mean, what
It should link, it should
well, he'll
link.
need an offer, do they come with the
it'll come with
offer?
Windows and things like that.
Word,
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna set a budget at 500, if we can't find anything, and we'd probably find somewhere closer to 4. But if we can't find anything, then we'll revisit it next month. Yeah, here's the problem with these all-in-one, a lot of them are coming with home, which isn't really ideal. Here's business. I need more time to look at.
well, I think that ought to get us there.
Yeah, well, like
Both
this one,
sides.
here's an all-in-one business that doesn't have Windows Home on it. It has the normal Windows 11 on it, with everything that you need on it at $429, and that's
Okay.
that's brand new, not a refurbished, so, anyway.
Do we still have our old black and white printer around? Yeah, you know, it's not old, you still use that.
Uh-huh. We've got
But
several
you-
printers.
One that we could probably get. Did you ever take it in and get it cleaned up?
No, I need to. Now I have a new spot that's,
Okay.
yeah, on the to-do list.
I make a motion that we set aside a budget of 500 for BJ for a desktop, for him doing his reporting and,
Search.
huh?
And searching.
Yeah, searching and when he's trying to buy things.
Second, or I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
500, we don't even need it, plus or minus 10 if that's.
Okay. Next will be election of the mayor for the next 2 years. Do you have to be mayor?
Not this early.
How about you?
They really would, no, I do too much payroll and stuff. No, I don't wanna, no.
Okay.
I
Any
need
any
supervision,
comments?
I need supervision.
Any comments?
Well,
Do you want to do it again?
you're good at it. Well, I make a motion that we nominate Carl for our, to continue his position as our mayor.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now.
Oh, you're not counting.
Huh?
Oh, you're not counting.
Are you at?
No, he's recusing himself is
Yeah,
what he's
yeah.
saying.
What are you saying?
Has like, never mind, I don't need to say that.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, thank you.
Discussion possible approval of
Resolution.
resolution.
This is adding signature cards, adding Colton, but have we got response back from, the insurance guy?
I
No
haven't seen
bill
it.
yet? Well, we need to table this until we know that he's properly bonded.
Okay.
Motion, please.
I make a motion to table.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are you tabling G and H both?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Discussion possible approval of sending letter to support internet in town? Is that, what is it?
This is me, yeah.
It's yours, it's all yours now.
Yeah. Same thing that we did last year, and I apologize, I didn't get an update from Centronet to see where they are on work from the funding. They did get funding to bring some fiber to Coyle, it was just
Not
not
enough.
complete. And so, I just want to get an update from them on that, but it's basically just, again.
They're still out there, still applying for
They're still
grants.
looking for more funding to get in here, and so it's the same thing as it was last year, basically. I think, is there a copy of that letter? I don't think
So
it.
we just need to.
We're just expressing our support for the proposal by Centronet to build the last mile network to unserved and underserved residents of the town. Centronet serves 7 counties and many cities and is planning to extend their services here. The fiber to the home network as proposed by Centronet will bring high-speed internet to our residents and result in better opportunities for remote work, distance learning, and helping residents become part of the digital economy. Recognizing the long-term benefits this network will bring, we strongly support the application by Centronet and highly recommend the Oklahoma Broadband Office to approve it.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the letter.
All in favor?
Aye. So we get to sign that. Oh, did you hear that, Mindy? Jason said that he told Sonja that he would email it to him this evening.
Okay.
Okay, street grant update.
Street renovation. Huh? Well,
I didn't do that.
You did too?
That was, no, BJ was,
BJ, we getting some.
well, I do know that BJ has ordered our tractor,
yeah.
and BJ should be, what did he say was picking it up?
I think it was in 2 weeks it was going to be
I know
delivered.
you talked to a company to patch his hose.
And he also talked to, yes, but unfortunately, he's at firefighter training tonight. That's why he's not here. I guess he didn't make any notes.
Yeah, I have notes.
Okay.
So he ordered the tractor after our last meeting. He went that next day. They were having to put something on it, and then they were going to deliver it in a couple weeks, which should probably be next week sometime. But I haven't heard a date on that.
And did you say anything about the,
Asphalt.
Yeah. So there's an actionable item. The next one, if we're ready to move on to that, there's a quote in your packet from the same company that came and gave the quote
discussion part?
when we did it.
Street, right?
Asphalt sign, American Asphalt. And these are the guys that gave us the original quote.
Yep. It's the same, quote that
Line on
they,
it.
the same price from when they quoted it before.
Oh,
So
they-
they were out here last week and looked at stuff and talked to him and, this is the quote.
Okay, so this is approximately 1,200 square feet, same as we got quoted before.
And that's them cutting it out, fixing
Yeah.
whatever, redoing it.
I know we brought our tractor in within $1,500 of the original quote. I know, we can come back to these people if we end up with, I still think we need to designate, do we have a map of the town as to which road? I know there's, break a leg holes by Ian King's house.
Yeah, so that was one that I know they looked at, the one at Aspen, Washington, the one at Aspen, Lee, the one at Aspen, Bond between Iowa and Ask. I think they looked at this one that's right here, that's for.
But they are major ones so far.
Yeah.
And
It's
if
all
we
the
have money
worst
left
ones
over,
to
perhaps
start.
we can get them back in and,
When I think that they talked about like the transitions here. I don't know for a fact that that's part of this quote. I don't know that, but I know that he talked to them about the transitions.
Yeah, that's,
I can tell you when we got these originally several months ago going out for this, potentially future business in the transitions was discussed, but was not part of the quote. It was specifically those potholes.
the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
The worst of the worst.
So we
Once you
should
got, I
do
think there's
these
one or
and
two.
So we do these, so, yeah, I would say we should get it started.
And
Pardon?
Go ahead.
we need to make sure that, I know there were a couple that we took pictures of and mentioned specifically in the grant application, and I think it's important that we make sure that those,
Get done as well.
I think that one.
I'm sure they're the same, they're probably the ones that you already mentioned, but I don't.
Well, I know the break the leg one was in.
I know the one in front of Ian's house.
I took that picture.
But I don't remember
Well, we
what
can
all-
check, we can
that's my
check.
point, is
But
that
I
we
think we
gotta
need
make
to
sure
get
we
'em-
cover.
Get them going on the project.
Yeah, my point is just make sure we do check.
You check which ones we're doing first. Okay, now that leaves gravel, and it leaves, some assorted equipment. And then, once that's done, things stay on budget, we may have another 5,000 left over, that we can put back on the roads and the asphalt again. So,
I will tell you, I think PJ found out what was wrong with the finish mower. Did he tell you?
They told me that he got.
The gearbox was
Yeah.
apparently shattered, so it's probably not gonna work again. I don't know if we, well, I don't know. I
you
don't
may
know
wanna
if it's
use
worth
some of
it.
that money for the finished mower as well. you're saying.
If we wind up needing one, I mean, I think if we wind up, the flail mower will may take the place of both a brush hog and a finish mower, how it works. And I kinda think we ought to see where that goes.
Okay, well, let's get this, we know this, and we'll study the next.
We're going to get this.
Get it going.
Do we need to,
Make a motion that we contract with American Asphalt for their current estimate of 13,000, well, it's their quote, 13,500. And that's to saw cut and remove, install road base as needed, roll for compaction, and 3-inch type hot mix. So hopefully these dudes will stay in the ground, will stay in there being hot, packed, and proper road base, so. I'm excited.
second?
Second that motion.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. You got it. All you gotta do now, get him out here. Next one will be fire department.
Okay, so Dylan sent me a report, they're all at training, in Perkins. Says we had the fundraiser dinner and thanks for the community coming out to support. The tanker is still in the shop getting the new tank. FMAC paperwork is all turned in. Waiting on insurance claim for damaged vehicles during the fire. Glad for all the rain. And then need to set a date to flush hydrants before the summer water increase, so that we flush them twice a year.
do you have an accounting for what we took in as dues and for donations?
We took in 910 for dues, day of the event, and then $200 in donations, and then I had a couple of straggler fire dues that came in, also, but, yeah, so. Those I don't know right off the top of my head.
Now, the question was asked, because like I know I pay like in October,
Mhm.
and somebody asked if they send letters out,
Yes.
and I told them you do.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Sometimes they come a little later in the month than I intend.
No, I understand, but
I do send out reminders.
I thought I knew you started doing that.
Yep.
So that'll pick up.
Yes.
And like I said, I pay in October because I feel you need the whole $60.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Ben, your call.
Just wanted, were you guys aware of what they're doing with the Perkins Fire Department? The training that they're doing tonight while they're all over there?
No.
Yeah, within the last few months, Perkins has reached out to us, and Dylan's been trying to reach out to them as well. to come up with a mutual aid contract,
Oh, good.
especially for the highway and accidents on roadway. Perkins is very good with extractions and vehicle accidents, and has invited our fire department to come train with them. And this, I believe, is the first training opportunity with them, which is why they're not here tonight. It's not just blowing y'all off for training. It's a very important first step in that agreement with Perkins, who we've had some issues with for a number of years. So it's a huge olive branch and a big deal tonight, so.
Oh, that sounds great.
Especially with election to see.
The most dangerous stretch of highway in the state is what's been talked
I
about.
don't doubt it. It's absolutely wild.
Well, I'm hoping that's the statistics that they used as to why they needed to go ahead and start paving immediately.
I hope so.
I wish I could show that.
Yeah,
Event report, I can't.
was
Thank
that
you already.
part of the unit?
So we are, working on planning the 4th of July fireworks. It's gonna be July 5th from 6 to 9. And then fireworks show at dusk. And then the other thing we did last year, and it was pretty successful, was movie nights at the park. And so we're looking to start that at the end of the month. And have popcorn and drinks and stuff like
Now,
that. and movies.
The 4th of July, I mean, now that we have this auxiliary, the 4th of July has always been a fire department town function. And for us to be able to donate our normal $1,000, it has to stay that way.
Yeah, the auxiliary is not
Okay.
participating in that.
'Cause, yeah, well, that's.
Other than having a booth.
But they should still go
Other
to
than having a
come
booth.
help. Well, you know,
Well, yeah,
that's.
they'll be
Not
around.
that they're not wanted, for gosh sakes, it's just that the funding has to go through the town.
I understand.
Well, they'll be around.
Okay,
Anything else?
you can't keep you away.
I don't know of anything else, other event, anybody? Grant?
Well, there is something I'd like to bring up. I'm looking into an internet way of bringing in donations to help with the events in town.
Uh-huh.
Something I'm praying about and to see if it'll work through, but what they'll do is make t-shirts for all of our events. And I'd like to try to working with some other people about getting the school involved, or the school will even be a part of it maybe. Or it'd be like one Coyle Town store, but on the internet. You go buy t-shirts for whatever event's going on. If the school gets involved, school stuff for the Blue Jackets, and the money will go to the school stuff will go to the school, and the event stuff like t-shirts, caps, whatever, will go to town event donations. So that's something I'd like to,
Well, as you get more details on how it works,
yeah.
yeah.
And just see, but you, I've talked to the people, and they'll divide the money where it goes themselves, everything will be printed out.
The only thing that I caution you on, and this would happen in Mississippi, where my oldest nephew lives, the products they were selling, the majority of the fund went for the product. And so they were only making $1 or $2 on, and I can't remember what it was, but it was things.
Right.
And this was 5-10 years ago. And so if I bought $30 worth of their things, they were, the fundraiser was only gonna get like $3.
Yeah.
Or let's say $6. And I just chose to write a check because I wanted all of my money, and I didn't need whatever it was they were selling to go to that.
Yeah, I thought about it, but you know, to me, and with our small town, being the only one really going to get donations, $1 adds up.
Oh, I know.
So, to me, I mean, I think it'd be good for our town too, to even have something on the internet. Oh, Town of Coyle, what's this? And it's
Well,
like
but
a
just be
convenience
sure.
store, and you can buy shirts, hats.
Yeah, well, just be sure that people know how much money goes to the event.
Yeah, it'll be all listed.
And like I said, had my sister not been, I mean, they send me all of this, and actually I didn't need any of it. I already had boxes in the garage. but I found out in that particular case, my donation was much more beneficial to go directly to the organization than to buy goods. So just, I think that needs to be disclosed so people can make those ideas. But otherwise, I think it's kind of cool, again,
Yeah, I think so.
participation.
Financial report,
So the current account balances for our three main accounts as of the end of April in general fund is $80,188.73. CPWA is $32,027.67. And the fire department's $29,408.13.
So we need to move that museum money quickly.
Yeah, just a note, I have since the end of April received the third reimbursement from the ACOG grant, so that CPWA account is back up $40,000 more, so that will show in next month's report, but
But we will end up with $90,000 in the,
in general fund.
because we're gonna have to write them a 70 plus
Yeah,
check,
something. 65?
65.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also the cash activity and balance report, and then the budget to actuals comparison.
okay. Anything else?
That's all I got on that one.
Maintenance report?
So the new tires got put on for the Spartan, or he got new tires for the Spartan. All the items that were sold on Purple Wave have been picked up. The Spartan was having some issues, so he had done a service on it, changed the fuel pump, and then ended up taking it to Beck's to have it put on the computer, and there was the high pressure fuel pump needed to be replaced. So they replaced that, and it's running like a champ now. And then he took all the lights and stuff off of the EM truck. It's supposed to be picked up tomorrow for Tahoe.
Okay, I got a key at the house and bring it to you.
Okay, I got two here. I didn't know how many we had.
Just give them two,
Okay.
and it's gonna make a difference.
Other thing is on the SCAG, I still haven't received a list or a quote from that, so it's on my to-do list to call first thing in the morning and get with them. And
Just FYI, we did get a phone call, right?
yes, there was a phone call from them that the motor, I guess, is missing parts, so they had to put some parts in order to just even look at it to see what was wrong. So not,
So the Crescent dude must have kept part of our motor when we got it back. Because it didn't run.
Unless it was missing before it went over there. I don't know, I got taken up.
I would,
Uh,
we just know it's missing parts now.
Cemetery report?
I don't really have anything to report on it. I know Josh has been getting it mowed and weeded and ready for Memorial Day on Monday, so we'll probably put flags out like we have in years past. Just getting ready
I
for
know
that.
we need to try to set up another time to be out there and
Fix fence.
work on the fence around it. Get some trees down. Get that bigger tractor, would be nice, and get them up to it, cut that off. Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Just a court code enforcement report.
So we had court on April 15th, that was one in attendance on that. Don't have the report back from the judge on that, I'm still waiting for that. We also held court on the 8th, which was regarding some animals that were running around at large, and we have one person here for that. And then the letters from the most recent list we received have all gone out. They went out on Friday. Mostly just courtesy notices, but violations will be coming probably in the next month.
Yeah,
I
and
got down here, discussion possible action with
dilapidated structures.
So that's just a continuation from the last 2 months where we spoke with the gentleman that owns that property down here. And Brian made for you a
Yeah,
report on it, so I put it in your packet. I think everybody received one in an email, but
yeah.
just on that, so that was just a continuation from the previous.
He actually stated all of the safety issues
Yeah,
within, he wrote a fairly extensive report,
yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah.
so it's under that. And,
You know what's good in that is.
One down on Miller's Corner.
yeah, that is the name of it.
I'm an old soul.
I know this
I'm
sound.
young, but I'm an old soul.
Haven't heard that in a long time.
I can go by there today, I can go down there and clean it up.
Boomer's Corner does.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of stuff on these benches and whatnot. I don't know if you guys know, but, Kyle Brandon and his dad Bruce Brandon, who live up by the school,
I know Bruce.
they are actually the ones that have replaced the boards and kept them painted and redone all that over the years.
At Whitler's Corner, not the city park, at Whitler's.
At Whitler's Corner.
I did not know
I
that.
wonder who's doing that.
Yep, and Bruce. Bruce has Kyle come down, and Kyle has 10, 12 kids. And they bring all them kids down and they take the boards off and put new ones on and paint them.
We don't have a tree there anymore, do we?
No, we do not.
Did we plant some in the park?
Memorial Park, yeah.
I don't know if we could put another one in there.
I think we need to put another tree in.
Well, we're gonna have to take that elm stump out then.
Oh, okay.
And that elm tree died, but there's still like a 8 or 10 foot stump there that needs to come out.
Hang an umbrella on it.
But I do think that's, I mean, I remember as a kid walking around and sitting on those benches and sitting underneath that big old elm tree.
Yeah, I think it's got hit by lightning.
And,
Dusty,
I got a few of those trees from OG&E. I've got 3 of them I was gonna plant in my yard, but I'd be willing to donate one of them.
Yeah, I'm getting
They're
that,
just about yay tall, but
getting that stuff out of here at this point in time.
I don't think he was, but I don't know what's that stump around there. I'll talk to him and see if we can get it out.
Oh, that's convenient.
Just twist his arm.
I'm gonna let you
I'll
have it.
just twist his arm a little bit.
I'll let you take care of that.
I already got him taking one out of the neighbor's yard for me, so we'll just knock it all out.
Just have to cut the stump off first.
I don't know, it might be easier to take the benches down
I have to take them down.
and that way if anything falls, it don't mess them up.
Wow.
Oh, get this tractor in here, it'll help push it over,
And it, be honest, you might be able to track them.
push it right out.
It's been there for ever, so.
It was big when I was little.
Yeah, it was
Whenever I was little, so.
Again, you just replace it and go from there.
I do like that idea. That's
We would take that, we thank you, sir.
absolutely.
Okay. Emergency management. The last few days been kind of rough for me. Between Coke and running around down here, I've been out in my pickup, so most people really don't realize that I'm out in my pickup now, I'm not out running, because it's out here on my life. We're gonna get us another vehicle somehow,
Yeah. Well,
but,
do you have the state contract report? Does it, the state of Oklahoma contract, approved contractors? Uh-huh. On the vendor list.
yeah, there is.
I don't know if I have a vendor list for the state contract, but I'll see if I can find one. I know we do for Sourcewell, which is just another,
Well, I know, but the state contract is what we used with PD when we got our bids on the Kubota and we saved substantial.
Sourcewell does kind of the same thing, which was kind of interesting because there's not really on the agenda, but some mower quotes, and there's a difference in the state contract versus the Sourcewell contract.
Which was the,
I think if I remember right, the Sourcewell was cheaper,
real,
but I'll need to verify that.
but who those vendors are.
That I do know.
Well, now that we got the Spartan running, it's not nearly as
Yeah,
But we're still down on emergency management.
Right.
So,
I'll see if I can find a vendor list for the state contract, and then I can find one on source too.
but the state also has auctions of surplus vehicles.
Well, I
Did you
know
know that?
Howard Cho used to, used to, well, that's what that was, the old Howard Cho vehicle. But I cannot find out how to get hold of them, to find out where they're at. Leslie, will you happen to know?
I'm sorry, focus on something else for a second. Number what?
The highway patrol, on their used vehicles.
Highway patrol goes through a state contract, like everybody else, Fish and Wildlife and all that. And they contract through a surplus auction site, and I do have information on that, I'll get to it. But all of that, whether it's fishing game, highway patrol,
All state
all the state
vehicles.
agencies go through that one deal.
The GSA auction.
No, GSA is a different thing. GSA is not about cycle or cat, that's government service agency, or government supply agency. They're doing a look at too, but, I'll get the information on the state auction site.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Also something else to look into. I know in the very recent past, Edmond has given away some of their SUVs. Edmond Police Department has given SUVs, or at least sold them at very low cost, $6,000. A lot of times, they're already unfitted. Just our older models, they have to switch them out pretty regularly at a relatively early stage in life. Mustang is another municipality that does the same thing. So those two would be two worth contacting to see if they have any SUVs that they're trying to get rid of. Like I said, usually under $10,000. And they are like low mileage because of the service plan they're on. They flip their vehicles pretty regularly.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good information. Besides that, the hill we had came through here last night was quarter size and smaller. That rain, got a quarter-inch rain with all that. So, all the crates and everything, been staying pretty normal. Just got this problem out here at Triple X, still a big problem. You know, water running off, and the field runs back into town.
That's still happening again?
Yeah, it's not really, anytime we get a hard rain, it comes back in town, it don't go down the ditch.
The road's starting to wash too.
The
The
road
road is starting to
Yeah.
wash too.
And Lee is also starting to watch.
Yeah. Just say,
I know you probably bring it up with that big tree out there in Iowa. I know it fell across our mailbox. I don't think the mailman really beat up, go deliver our mail, but it came from across Iowa.
you know, it's being taken care
Going
of.
back to Iowa, going back on the other side of the road.
It should be here at 9 o'clock in the morning, I believe.
Well, this will be the second tree that's come down, so Tim moved one big out of the way, and then this big one. And if those trees keep going back on Iowa in the pasture abandoned area, it's gonna clog up that little bit of a ditch that's already clogged
Well,
up.
it has to
It
go
causes
back.
us flooding.
Well, it needs to go back beyond the ditch.
Mhm.
It's not just gonna get pushed up. We got an opinion from our attorney that it's the property owner's responsibility. Right now, we're dealing with safety issues. And once we get it, the street and the ditch cleared, then it's their responsibility to deal with.
Do we know who owns that lot?
Well,
The county has-
James is the last name. But I don't, are they divorced or?
Uh,
Is it up for sheriff's auction?
I haven't seen it up for
No.
sure.
Last I heard, it's in, somebody passed away and it's in the family, what is it called?
probate,
It's a probate?
on probate.
And they're just dealing with that right now.
Now,
For
is
the last
that,
few years.
now, is that the same property that has the double wide on it?
Uh,
It is?
Yeah, there's two.
The blue one?
there's-
Yes,
I don't know.
yeah, it's a blue one.
There's
There's also an old abandoned frame house that's
Well, when I looked up the assessor records today, there's a little square and then a L shape around it, and it's all owned by the same person, but there's one big acres, I don't know, half acre.
Yeah, those people have moved away from this town.
It's been like that as far as I can ever remember.
Yeah, that's the problem. They got people that owns property that moves away, just let it sit. They don't care if it falls down or what.
Shouldn't be too much longer, and it'll possibly go up for something if they're not paying their taxes on it.
Well, shouldn't those limbs and all that debris that gets pushed up in there start triggering some ordinance violations?
Mhm.
Probably. Could.
Well, that whole thing should probably be, because theoretically, in theory, yard.
Like I said,
That's something to be discussed.
yeah, but that's what's gonna get your street cleared tomorrow, though.
That's all I've got right now. Besides, I need James's,
I have a sticky note on my keyboard.
and also I need to get some antennas for the radios, those old VHF radios. We got one.
Have we ordered them before?
I don't think so. We got batteries.
Let me give her a number on antennas, because they have to be very specific. To be 7, I've ordered several of them, I'll get her a number.
Okay.
If you don't get the right ones and you end up transmitting on the 700, it can fry the whole battery.
It's not the 700, it's not the 800. It's the VHF.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I've got numbers for those as well, I can order
No,
some.
it's just the VHF.
Okay.
And for it.
The old ones from the fire department?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, because their antennas are older, just snapping off.
I thought they'd all taken off.
I may have a few of those out in my bag in the truck, I'll go look and see, grab a couple, till we get some ordered for you.
Okay. The two is using, they're not, both of them don't. Now we're down to 2 of them.
Yep.
Okay. Possible executive session, what's it? Possible executive session to possible change in job title for maintenance mowing personnel. EJ, what,
Operator.
operator and maintenance supervisor.
Do we need to go to emergency session? Do we need to discuss this?
What we got, what are we doing here?
Okay, I guess, I don't know that I don't ever remember doing this before, but, BJ passed all of his water and sewer certifications. We gave him an increase for passing it, but we haven't changed his title officially.
So what do we need to change his title to?
Well, that's what to water operator and maintenance supervisor
From maintenance.
and mowing
/mowing
personnel.
Oh, okay.
And
I
I guess,
don't
I'm
think
just
we need to
asking,
go to, you don't think we need to go to executive session, do we?
I don't think so.
If you don't need to discuss anything about it.
I think we just did.
I think we just did.
Well,
Well, that's,
So you did bump his pay after he did all that?
yeah.
yeah. But he is fully licensed for sewer and water operator, Class D. About a month or so ago.
Yeah. So, do I have a motion
I make a motion to change his job title from maintenance and mowing personnel to water operator and maintenance supervisor.
I second it.
to, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Taking action, everybody know when that,
Okay, so we just did that. We're done?
we're done. Motion,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
favor?
it, the new codes.
Oh, good.
I mean, when Cindy showed, it's like, okay, there's just one thing. I haven't even like printed out the codes or anything, but there was just one thing I saw there. Right now I can tell you what it was, other than when I read it. But the reason why I'm standing here is because that property where the blue double wide is, and they have a little frame house, they also have 2 abandoned, like, RVs or pull behinds, fifth wheels or something. Would that not automatically be, a code violation?
I think it should be,
I
yeah.
mean, we're talking about abandoned vehicles and stuff.
There's a lot of trees in there now.
Yeah, so
I don't even know what, I just know all I can see is the corner of the double line. But
Well,
I don't drive it every day like you do, so I'm not looking off in there.
Yeah, but it needs to be cleaned up. It needs
yeah.
to be.
Well, I mean, there were like, we were there 3 years. I mean, I had seen it first, but I've like told my husband and a friend of ours, like, oh, there's a little frame house back there. No, there's not. I'm like, yes, there is. There's a little frame house back there.
Well, that's the whole reason we're trying to get this, in these codes and get an agreement. We need to make sure that our current, that big package,
Oh, yeah.
every
Yeah.
2 years, every 10 years, this one right here is actually the one on approving things for payment. That's yours. I've gone through it because it's written big.
Well, one of my main concern was like, if there's a violation going on, and I know that courtesy letters get sent out and everything, but what if it's someone who's disabled or the aged and they can't fix it? You know, how many warnings or what help do they get
Well,
if they're just not able to do it?
Well,
And so many people, I mean, Carl said himself, like, so many people just move away.
yeah,
Like, these people are,
and those are our primary, the uninhabited properties are the biggest.
that's a pain in the
okay.
Well, there's somebody we used to send a letter to, and they used to come and mow it because it was too tall, back, a few years ago. But there is, the family's close by, and they got a pretty good sized family.
James is their last name, that's what's.
Yeah,
on the-
they're
on
related
the
to
phone.
Sylvia, but, the chief calls and they'll come and, but there is a house that's falling apart, there's 2 travel trailers, 2 vehicles in that double wide.
Well, like I said, that's, I don't know if it's on our radar or not, in that.
Okay,
I'll have to look.
well,
One last thing. As far as like
Our meeting is
people
adjourned.
that, oh, is it?
Yeah, unless you want to have a conversation,
Well,
we're gonna we're adjourned.
I would just like to add one other thing, that, 'cause if I remember correctly, in the meeting we talked about it, the people that are disabled or elderly or otherwise incapable of performing the work, don't have the equipment for whatever reason, a courtesy notice ideally will trigger them to contact City Hall and say, hey, look, I'm elderly, I can't get this done by myself, what can the town do? And then Lindy can come to the board and say, this is the situation that's going on, is there something the town can do to assist this person?
But
Because
you
you're
know,
right.
it's often hard for people
Oh,
to say, I
absolutely.
need help.
That's
So
true. That is-
it's the other way around, saying, how can we help you do this?
But you realize, before we take any further action, we always meet. And we're not gonna kick anybody out of their home, let me just tell you that. I don't know how else to put it.
That was within the codes and the timeline and everything, you know, that was just one of the things I noticed, you know, like, how does this work out? What is step 1, step 2, step 3?
let's get on with this.
They're finished.
Next one.
Next one here. Let's call order, order trustee, Coyle Works Authority, order at 7:54. Roll call,
Trustee Warren,
Here.
trustee Gale, Mayor Lo.
here. Dr. Grace, again, got 3 minutes, this, that, got anything to say about that?
It's on the agenda.
On the, yeah. Number 1,
Make a motion that we move to the consent agenda.
all in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. business account. Consider it. Discussion, consideration, possible action made 2025 top grant update.
Your turn.
Okay, so, I think it was right now in the last meeting, we had the transfer switch installed.
Do they know what, do people know what the transfer switch is?
Well, we're in the middle of getting the final part of the project finished, which is installing the generator on the lift station. Generator requires a transfer switch so that we don't electrocute the power company when the generator kicks on. So they have installed that box in the transfer switch. It's a box sitting right next to the lift station. And when the generator comes in, they will go out there and trench, or, well, they've got to run electrical, underneath that little road there. We do need to do a locate, probably, Lindy, do you mind doing a locate? And I don't, so I don't know, yeah.
Oh, you wanna do one ahead of time before?
Well, we
they
can
get
do
here,
it ahead
so
of
you know.
time, and we'll at least have an idea, and you can tell them that the work isn't expected to start until, like, you can put it a month or 2 weeks out and say that it's gonna take 30 days to complete the work, and so that'll give us a really big window of when we're allowed to dig. Because if you do a locate and you have a 30-day window, they can come at the very end of the 30 days and you're still covered.
On average, sorry, the locates only get 4 days at a time.
Well, you can extend them to, anyway, from when I was reading them, you could extend them and you could get them longer than 14 days.
Sorry, I had something caught myself, I get it out.
We just did that, and they were running 2 weeks behind. Because usually it came out like 72 hours at max, but they weren't because we're doing some concrete work. So just keep that in mind.
Well, they have an emergency option.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't know, they may still be behind on that too, but.
I don't know why they were, but that was.
Anyway, the point is, our generators are imminent.
Yeah, they're coming and we'll get it located. I mean, if it takes time to do the locate, it takes time to do the locate. Anyways, the generator's coming, and when it gets here, they'll drop out the pads, they'll run wires over and get it done. We're still gonna have to have OG&E come out. ONG, the gas people, they're gonna have to set the meter, and I guess y'all have been having trouble getting them
The
out as
BJ
well.
said, yeah.
So, basically, as a generator's gonna set the generator, they're gonna run gas line over to where we know there's a gas line there, and hopefully OG&E can put a meter right there, and if not, because they haven't been able to get ONG out here.
What's the problem? What they say, what they say, make my come.
I'm not sure.
I have
We'll
to ask
talk to
BJ.
BJ.
I think at one point, they said they didn't set the meter until there was something to connect it to, but that sounded really weird. And another, I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't want to sit here and speculate. I don't know. So.
Like they wanted to make one trip, period, the end.
Right.
Yeah, when we were there, that's what they were, wanted to do one trip, but I got the feeling that he was already, because I got pictures, that was April 10th when we were taking those pictures.
Was that the gas guy out there
That,
though?
that was the guy that was the generator.
Yeah, no, the Generac guys, they've been.
They're
doing
ready.
real well.
They-
Yeah, they've been doing real well. It's ONG that we're having issues with right now. And I don't think it's ultimately gonna be that big of a deal. Like I said, we've told them to shoot the, line over to where there is. Like so where this gas line has been flagged right there at the corner of the fence, if you look down, you can see that there's meters on it. So I don't know why.
Well, and you can see the pad is literally less than 8 feet away from that.
Right, but that's where the Generac people are gonna run gas line over right next to where the existing underground gas line is marked.
Right, but you still need a meter there.
Right. Yeah, but that's what
And
I
that'd be
mean.
their, OPD,
But
so.
OND has to say, I'm getting everybody confused. So anyways, that's my update.
Thank you.
Anything else?
When is the generator? Is the generator supposed to be in? Is it gonna be
Any.
in before they set the meter?
It probably so, because it's looking that way, just because we can't get ONG out here. And, the generator, we've actually been working on getting approved and in or whatever since February. So it just takes a lot of time. But, yeah, no, that generator, it had to be not a special generator. The problem is those are like, it's 480 volt, it requires a 480 volt hookup. And most small size generators don't provide a 480 volt output, so they had to go up to a 32 kilowatt generator. And so that 32 kilowatt generator gives us our 480 volts, but it also, it's a new model for Generac, and there was just a bunch of stuff into finding it. And so, but anyways, if we ever do anything with a depot or something like that, that generator's got plenty of overhead to serve as like a warming station or any number of things that it could be better over into the depot once this grant stuff is done. It just can't be done as part of the grant.
Okay.
We do need to, the deadline for this one ends May 30th, so I think we need to go ahead and submit an extension, and that's due by tomorrow. I remember that for right now. But I think we can come up with a letter quickly and have one of the board members
I
sign
can
it and send it.
I can drop by tomorrow morning.
So, just so we're covered.
No,
Yeah,
good
it's not
point.
bad.
Thank you.
Did she ever email, did you ever talk to her that one time when we spoke? We were gonna email her and just send her an update and see if they.
So we talked about that, and then we were gonna wait until, because the generator people are coming the next
Oh,
day,
never
and then I
get
know.
back to it.
Yeah, we never.
All right, well, I'll drop by in the morning. then.
That'll be what we do tomorrow.
Okay, water report.
Meters were read and the weekly and monthly water testing done.
Wastewater report.
Changed the valve on the second irrigation field, so both pumps, or both irrigation fields are running. The sprinklers have been, let's see, this was, I think, a couple weeks ago when we were expecting rain, but this, sprinklers have been running, through the day some, and then overnight, trying to get the levels down. The aerators keep tripping. I think that maybe they're a little better. That was a couple weeks ago too, I think. So, and then we received a CCTV report from the,
What's the aerator tripping for?
I think number 3 needs to be pulled to the shore, and I think we ought to wait till we've got the tractor to do that. I mean, I can use my tractor to do it again, but I think this one may be a little longer in the front end, and it might be a little bit easier the one we're about to get. But I think, and we did order another hoist. That hoist we had disappeared, so we had got another 3-chain pickup thing, so that, because those, you kind of have to pick up, lift them directly out. My guess is the third one's got something wrapped around it up in there. Now, 1 and 2 weren't really misbehaving last I checked, or were they?
it seems like one in the, like the number 2 pond, but the one on this side of that was tripping
Okay,
too.
well, I may need to talk to BJ. We also had ants inside the control boxes, so BJ put ant stuff inside the control boxes. So hopefully that will have gotten rid of the big fire ant nest that was developing. Those were pretty, no. Those red and black ones, those nasty.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Next thing,
I make a motion to adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 8:04.
You know what this one, the third one is, do you not? Have anybody explained it to you?
This is education.
We're back in, I wanna say 2011, the school approached the town to act as facilitator for bonds on the gym. And right now, it is all current, no money in the bank, audits are all current, and our auditor said that we can roll it, since it's dormant, it won't need its own individual audit anymore until it wakes up again. If we use it again, but it'll be rolled into,
We need to call this meeting to order.
okay.
Let's call this, core education facility upon the trustee meeting to order at
It was,
8:06.
but,
Call
Trustee Mormon,
Here.
trustee Gale,
here,
Mayor Ron.
here,
okay.
welcome guests, same thing.
Make motion to move to consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Consent agenda,
Make a motion we accept the consent agenda, no activity.
Second that.
all in favor? Aye.
And there is no activity other than the auditor says we will be able to include this entity in our town audit, like we do CPWA, because we all share the same board of trustees. So I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
8:07.
well, the only reason we keep doing this thing and keep it alive is that unless we just, if we don't have our meetings, then it gets fades into the past and nobody.
On that day, so if you need
And this way we've had our minutes, we've had our meetings, there's been no action, no activity. It's on record, so. I did both of them,
I didn't say,
and over 60%.
68.
No, if you wanna use it, if you think, I think yours looks good, but if you wanna use that,
You got all the lines marked so that where it was marked on the line.
yeah, that's the only thing, but I thought.
Say we got all those of our own time. We're in the same shape, but, not open.
I do like the idea though.
Rooms being modified, because they were being absolutely quick, stored and also we were not.
But I like
On
the
the
hand,
Why? Because they already pay their dues for their kids. And I don't know.
Right, well, that's what she said we did. But we like a lot of money is not going to where I would like to have. And this amendment just showed like, oh, she's gonna tell her boss why what
They were talking about,
Right.
they were both known and they had that, so.
Yeah.
we just did this.
When we did, much smaller stuff. If that's
I wouldn't do that. Dying. I do like a power play.
No, but I'm just.
I
somebody's in line, and you just get maybe, so you get hurt by somebody,
But it's gonna fall out with me, I don't know.
It's not.
It's not really that.
I like it because it involves like the,
You know,
this,
I'm trying to get to the.
I mean, we have to I mean, the minutes, I just, straight donate, like, sometimes it is best just straight donate. Hey,
And then we
input properly. Yeah, we have grandchildren, we have to use our.
Okay, so,
Oh, yeah.
Well, I
There's a
mean.
lot of families that are calling in, town show come up today. We've had it also around without, trouble, coordinators, nobody else. Just bring awareness to the fact that you're there. There's a donation. Or something like that, the sports fair, football, baseball, whatever. Please get there. All of our schools, related organizations are putting out tender fees.
I'll talk to him and see.
How many people you own? Just to
I'm gonna be gone.
I mean, that was one of the ideas, that we to decorate like that, or something. Yeah, it's part of it. So.
You know, you guys think you're not always.